see who has the heart.
If you put your effort and concentration into playing to your potential, to be the best that you can be, I don't care what the scoreboard says at the end of the game, in my book, we're going to be winners.
This is your fight. Now go out there and take it.
Everybody grabbing out there. Nobody tackle. Just grabbing, everybody. Grab. Nobody tackle.
Welcome to Applebee's Tailgate Talk. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Come see all your friends at Applebee's in Athens, Highway 72 West, just off I-65. 12 minutes guaranteed or it's free, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. 7 items to choose from. Can't make it for lunch? Visit them for happy hour, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. or late night. Half-price appetizers with beverage purchase, 6 appetizers to choose from. One of your favorite teams is sure to be playing on the big screen, too. See you tomorrow at Applebee's Neighborhood Grill, Highway 72 Athens, just off I-65. Daily and Son Car Care is Ardmore's only one-stop auto repair and tire shop. Whether it's major mechanic or brake work or routine maintenance like an oil change or lube job, Daily and Son Car Care has been satisfying customers all over with their fast and friendly service. They're also your headquarters for quality Cooper tires. Stop by and see Wayne, Nikki, or Dale at 25600 Main Street in Ardmore, Tennessee, or call them at 931-427-4651. They're on Facebook, too. Daily and Son Car Care, open Monday through Friday, 7:30 till 5, and Saturday, 7:30 till noon. Real estate, real easy. That's the motto at Innovative Realty Solutions, and providing the highest quality real estate services is their mission. With sound real estate advice, the latest information, and a skilled analysis of the real estate market, Innovative Realty Solutions offers a better home buying and selling experience with a fair, ethical, and, yes, innovative process. Innovative Realty Solutions. Visit them on Facebook, online at innovativerealtysolutions.com, at 100 North Clinton Street in Athens, or call 230-5950. Innovative Realty Solutions. Real estate, real easy. When things go wrong, State Farm is here to help life go right. And Agent Michael Howell is the one who can help get things back on track. See Michael for your auto, home, life, health, property, and business insurance, and be ready for those unexpected twists that life throws at you. Ask about banking and annuities, too. Call State Farm Agent Michael Howell at 232-5400. Visit him online at michaelhowell.net or go see him at 903 South Clinton Street in Athens. State Farm Agent Michael Howell. There when things go wrong, here to help life go right.
This is Shelby Davis, West Limestone head football coach, and you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
Good Saturday morning, everyone, and welcome to Applebee's Tailgate Talk. Tom McClung here alongside Tojo J. Vassar, Todd the Bod Tomlin, sporting his Austin 316.
Austin 316 says I just...
Yes, you wouldn't your behind. Producer extraordinaire Tim Lambert. And we're live here on WKAC, the Big 1080, Applebee's Tailgate Talk. Look for us on Facebook at Applebee's Tailgate Talk and on Instagram or Twitter at Tailgate Talk AL. Visit us online at tailgatetalk.net to get scores and archives of past shows. You can also vote on this week's Athlete of the Week poll and enter nominations for future polls, as well as find the links to download the PAS Plus app for your Android or iPhone devices. Applebee's Tailgate Talk. Follow the Tailgate Talk podcast on iTunes, Amazon, Pandora, iHeart, Google, and other popular platforms. Hear us on your Alexa device by saying, Alexa, open PAS Plus, not BZ going, Applebee's Tailgate Talk. Think about him the other day. I have a story. Well, I shared it with y'all. I'll share it with everybody else here in a little while. Call or text us during the show at area code 256-8121-TGT. That's area code 256-812-1848. Our calling guests come in via the First National Bank hotline, making communities great. The special guest segment is sponsored by Yellow Hammer Roofing, which I imagine will get a lot more calls after last night as well. Prayers out to everybody who had difficulty with it. 23 people killed in Mississippi. Yeah. Wow. Bad storm blew through there. Saw a video this morning. One blew through Florence last night.
Yeah. And that's the same one that it tracked up to Fayetteville up there by Tim's house.
Yeah. I forget Tim lives in Fayetteville right now.
Yeah.
All right. That's cool. Well, speaking of Bama, Zach, y'all know about this, but sometimes when I'm on a road trip, I'm able to sneak off to
Parts unknown.
Parts unknown. Well, somebody waved. I didn't know if they was waving at me, so I waved back and lost my train of thought. Anyways, down in Jupiter, the St. Louis Cardinals and Washington Nationals was playing spring training game, so I was able to sneak out there. And lo and behold, a couple of guys that when they come down there, they work. They just get in touch with them. So we want to come down and watch some baseball, and we'll work for you. So they get in free, and they work the gate. So they all just sit down beside me or behind me, and got to talking about where they were from, and a conversation got to going, and said, we knew a guy, short guy, can't remember his name, always had them headphones on. He was always telling us, he was from Athens, he was always telling us what Eli was saying on the radio. Turn around and fill us in. I said, you mean Bama Zach? Yeah, that was his name.
That's unbelievable.
I told you the boy knew everybody.
Did you get their names?
I did not. I should have.
I may know who because he talked about that whole row every
Did
time.
he really? Okay.
He used to sit beside a guy who used to play for the Braves, Wes Helms.
Okay.
His dad and brother used to sit either beside him or behind him.
Okay. Well, they were talking about one of the guys was talking about his son played baseball at Wallace State with Foot.
Craig Campbell.
Well,
Keith
no,
Wagner?
it was Keith's older brother.
Brian. No, Keith's
Keith's the oldest. Yeah, it was Brian's older brother.
Yeah, Keith played down there years ago.
Yeah.
Really good, too.
Yep. So I said, everybody knew the Wagners. They were influential over in East Limestone. So
Absolutely.
Crazy. But we got a good show coming on. Hello, darling. There's our bartender here from working at Applebee's coming in. We are one big happy family.
Of course, we just drink Coke.
Of course, we just drink
water,
Coke. That's right.
Diet
During the
Coke.
show. Yeah, absolutely. Whatever. Each his own.
We got a big show, though.
We got a big show, man. We got a big deal here. I'm going to save our big guest for last here. With Johnny Johnson, we might as well go ahead and get him out of the way.
He's a big guest.
He's a big guest. He's a good guy. James Clemens, baseball coach, Johnny Johnson would join us. The Clements soccer coach, who may accidentally show up in here today, Jonathan Hicks, he'll be joining the show. Then we'll have our voice of the Havoc, Clay, Freak Daddy Coleman, AP Steadham, the Swami of the SAC. That's the SAC, the SEC. Yeah, absolutely. John Rosengren, he has the book called The Greatest Summer in Baseball, How 1973 Changed Us Forever. Looking forward to talking about that. What do y'all know about 1973 season? I was 7.
Well,
I was
5,
7 at the
3
time.
years old.
I was in 9th grade.
I was going to say Tim was 22 and maybe I'm teasing, buddy.
Well,
I wasn't 22 in the 9th grade.
The year later is when Hank Aaron broke the record.
Yeah. I was at West Athens then. I remember that. And we'll also have, I would guess we'd call this our special guest segment, sponsored by Yellowhammer Roofing. We could probably use it for both of these guys. Keith Dunnavant, a local author, really famous guy.
Yep.
Really famous guy. He
historian.
Done the historian. He'd done the documentary Willie's Gift, a tribute to the 1975 Athens football state championship team. So we're curious about who is Willie and what gift did he bring? So that'll be a good question.
I can't wait to go see that.
Yeah, that'd be good. Will it be airing anywhere local?
It'll be shown at the auditorium at the high school, and I think.
Okay.
I thought Ron Oakley said I think it holds about 600 or 800 people.
Okay.
And I think it's $20 a ticket.
Oh, cool.
So
that'll be awesome. Is it just a one-time showing?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe it'll come out on DVD.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be out on DVD.
Yeah, get it out.
Yeah.
On that antiquated DVD system that we have now.
Or you can download it from your.
Blockbuster's coming back. So
is Blockbuster coming back?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
There is still from what I heard the other day, there's still one store that operates. Still one Blockbuster.
Like in the Midwest.
Well, Redbox just come out there and just put all the old DVD players out of business. I mean.
Well,
I've never even used Redbox.
If you use DVD, I've got a bunch of DVDs still at the house, and occasionally
I'll
watch them through the surround sound.
And really, I like the older movies, and some of those actually, to me, look better on DVD than they do on Blu-ray, because Blu-ray, they are so detailed. Yeah. You can just see the grainy looking film. Yeah. And so
I don't have Blu-ray.
Yeah, well,
because I got so many DVDs. That's just like,
I've got one in the newer movies. I'll get on, on Blu-ray. But
Can you play old DVDs on a Blu-ray?
Oh, yeah.
I know you can't play Blu-ray
You
on
can
an old
play
DVD.
Blu-rays in like PS5s and all.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Well, I tell you what. Let's toss it over to producer extraordinaire Tim Lambert for
Scores and more.
All righty, had some baseball last night. Some of them got it in before it was probably pretty easy to get the games in before the weather came in. But anyway, James Clemens beat Oakland last night 5-0 out at Toyota Field. So
Raiders. Oakland A's?
Oakland Patriots.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I kept wanting to say the A's, But anyway, ABS beat Valley Head 14-4. Priceville JV East Limestone split with Priceville. The JV split with Priceville. The Indians lost the first game 10-0, but came out on top in the second game 3-2. Limestone County soccer tournament has been going on this week. The East Limestone JV girls won it by defeating Elkmont 5-1, and that was last night or Thursday night. I can't remember. Anyway, no, that was last night. The East Limestone varsity girls beat Elkmont 9-0 last night, and the Clements girls beat Tanner 3-1. So the East and Clements girls will play in the championship today, and the Tanner and Elkmont boys will play in the title game.
Where's the tournament
also at Clements.
Is it Clemens?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think some of the younger teams were at Elkmont, so I think Clint was telling us that they had split up the games because there were so many of them. The East Limestone JV boys they tied West Point last night 3-0. Congratulations to West Limestone's Addie Wallace. She committed to Northwest Shoals for softball.
Congratulations.
She's a good one, too.
Yeah. So congratulations to her. And that's Scores and More brought to you by P4 Physical Therapy, delivering world-class outpatient care with a purpose. Visit them on Facebook or online at p4physicaltherapy.com. And I saw this in my email here. The Trash Pandas are going to be hosting a free fiesta at the field tomorrow from noon till 3. They're going to celebrate the reveal of a new team identity, which takes effect during this season. So I don't know what the deal is.
Are they going, what do you call it? Like Braves have a Los Bravos night. Are they going to have like Los
I don't know.
But
Los Pandas.
I'm looking forward to Wednesday nights is all you can eat night.
Really?
Yeah.
What night?
You get seats all you can eat on Wednesdays, I think it is.
How does that work, actually?
I guess you just buy a ticket and that's in that
I get
section.
a band or something.
All
Give
the
them my
hot dogs,
food, man.
whatever you get.
Probably handle that.
If it's free, it's for me.
That's
And
what.
then Tuesday night, Alabama and Middle Tennessee play over there at Toyota Field Tuesday night.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so.
Is McNary pitching?
Yeah, Jacob will be starting.
That is
Jacob will be
nice.
starting.
Awesome.
I may have to
Coming home and getting the pitch.
run over there and see that.
Speaking of Alabama,
Yeah. Yeah.
we got to watch them on the big screen over there last night before James Clemens started playing, and then we had to set his phone up there so we could kind of keep an eye on the score. Which
It wasn't much to watch in the second half.
no,
I'll tell you that much.
no. Well,
The first 5 minutes
it
of the game or second half, I'm like, that's the Tide right there. They came out with intensity, man. Actually got 1 or 2 loose balls, which twice during the course of the game. Once at halftime, once about the 12-minute mark of the first half, how they interviewed the coaches, during the timeout or something. Coach, what are y'all not doing right or wrong, whatever? Well, we're not getting any loose balls. I'm like, Coach, I don't know what game you're watching, but y'all are getting every freaking loose ball. We're not diving on the floor. If it's a long rebound, you're getting it. If it just happens to be floating around, you're getting it. I don't know who was counting turnovers, and maybe the terminology has changed of what actual turnover is, but there ain't no way we had just 12 turnovers. We had 12 the first half.
Yeah, we had 12 the first half.
Yeah, and that's been the problem in their losses. Plus, that they didn't get physical.
Oh, no.
They
deserve it.
They got physical.
They got physical.
Yeah, I'm talking about Alabama.
Right, And so, and I want to talk to AP about this, but I'm wondering just a little bit, and I've thought about this before, especially with some of the Kentucky teams that are always, the right talent at the roof, right? What is their main thing? Young. 18-year-old strong ain't 21-year-old strong.
No.
Yeah.
And playing together for 3 years ain't the same as playing together for 9 months.
Man, imagine
And
Jabari Smith and Walker Kessler Ranger being still at Auburn for another year.
Right.
Good
I mean, I think
a lot of them guys too were 5-year players too.
That's what I'm saying. They had a lot of.
They know what the other's going to be for the other does.
Right. I mean, and that means something in the game of basketball. That's what I was telling
Yeah.
Coach Legg last night. We talked after the game, and I'm like, that kind of stuff matters. I don't care. You can have five stars out there at any given time, but if they haven't played together over the course of a few years, and you know where your buddy's going to be before he knows where he's going to be. You just do. And anyway, it was frustrating, but it's still a great season. So
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to take a break. We'll be right back. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on WKAC, the Big 1080.
P4 Physical Therapy is a new outpatient provider offering community-based care with a unique partnership model that allows them to consistently deliver world-class outpatient care, emphasizing personalized hands-on treatment. Whether it's orthopedic, physical, geriatric, or manual therapy, sports or neuro rehab, telehealth, or most any type of muscle or joint pain, P4 Physical Therapy promises to treat you with integrity, compassion, faithfulness, and selflessness. Locations in Athens, Huntsville, and Winfield, Alabama, as well as Fayetteville and Knoxville, Tennessee. Look for them on Facebook or online at p4physicaltherapy.com.
First National Bank is a name everyone in the community recognizes. We see it in our schools, in our parks, and in our homes. First National Bank is proud to help make our community great. I am First National Bank Student Advisory Board member Dakota McNair from West Limestone High School, and I love to help represent First National Bank in my community. First National Bank, making communities great.
Located at 1880 Highway 72 East and 321 South Jefferson Street in Athens. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Enjoy all the smiles and none of the slowdowns with a gig from Ardmore Telephone Company. Get 1 gig now for only $89.90 a month when you sign up or upgrade today. Work from home, learn online, game and stream with no buffering. You'll be grinning from ear to ear with a gig. Call 800-830-9946 now to get your gig life started. That's 800-830-9946.
Addiction can have a crippling effect on everyone involved, leading to health problems and behavioral disorders. SOAR Addiction Recovery can help with their comprehensive and confidential treatment. SOAR understands the heartache and pain of addiction and can empower you to re-engage in a meaningful life. If you or someone you know needs help, don't wait. Call SOAR Addiction Recovery. That's SOAR at 374-3858. Located at 30521 Ardmore Avenue in Ardmore. It's time for you to soar. Call now, 374-3858. SOAR Addiction Recovery. Keep up with local school, travel, youth, and amateur sports throughout the week with a Play Action Sports Update. Listen weekday mornings at 7:30 and weekday afternoons at 1:30 and 3:30 as we bring you the latest scores, news, and announcements from Limestone County and surrounding communities. That's the Play Action Sports Update 3 times a day, Monday through Friday on 1080 WKAC.
Hey guys, this is Max Howell. You listen to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
I'm all about that action. 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 I said I'm all about that action.
Welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk, ladies and gentlemen. We've got our Swami of the SEC on the First National Bank Hotline, making communities great, Mr. A.P. Steadham.
Good morning, good morning. So glad to be on Applebee's Tailgate Talk, WKAC 1080 AM, Athens, Alabama.
Sweet.
Oh, man, are you in Louisville? St. Louis?
No.
Okay, I'm glad you didn't make that trip, buddy.
I didn't, man, I'm telling you, that was so disappointing. When you win 31 games, you win the league, you win the SEC tournament, and you get beat in the Sweet 16 by a number 5 seed, that's not going to set well.
No. So give us your thoughts on the game. Yeah, tell us what you saw.
Like I always tell people when I'm watching this team play, I love that they play fast, that they shoot from the 3-point line, that they play good defense normally, and they hustle. But what is your alternate plan when at halftime you're shooting somewhere like 1 for 11, 2 for 13? What is the statistic telling you through the history of doing all these statistics that when we shoot poorly in the first half, have we ever come back and really had a good second half shooting from the 3-point line? And if not, then what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, well, let me ask you this, AP. So, and that's a great point. And I think the same thing. So, and I'm sure Coach Oates is the same type coach, but analytics have just filtered the game so much that, you know, that's all they're looking at, numbers. And I guess in their mind, it's like, well, we're 1 for 11, you know, we're not going to shoot 2 for 22. Just keep on shooting them, guys. But in fact, you've got 2 7-footers in there you could be throwing the ball to, working on their inside guys, getting their shot blockers in foul trouble,
yeah.
and, you know, and getting them on the bench where our guys can penetrate because why? They can't hit from outside tonight.
Right. Let's say 5 to 6 minutes and change our plan completely and go inside. Let's see what happens. Let's take 5 minutes of the game, okay? We're into these numbers. Let's take 5 or 6 minutes and change alternate plan.
Yep.
That's what I would say.
And you know, AP, that's what they did in the Auburn game down on the Plains when the 3 wasn't working. They were going inside, making easy baskets, and they didn't even try to do that last night.
No. So was it 1 for 11 the first half and 3 for 27 for the game?
Yep.
Is that correct?
That's what I read. But I also read we only had 12 turnovers, which is insane because we had that first half.
Right. But that second half was 2 for 16, I guess. 1 for 11, 2 for 16.
Yep.
Yeah, so they weren't making those shots, man. It's like trying to, you got a guy who's not hot throwing the ball, the deep ball. You keep throwing the deep ball in a football game, or baseball, throwing the slider, and it's a ball every time he throws the slider. You got to change up. Come on now.
Yep, I agree.
You're getting $5 million. You got to have Plan B, right? Plan C as well.
Yeah. Yep. And sometimes I think he stays with his. This is what we do. This is how we do it. Win or lose, ride or die.
Right.
Forget that ride or die stuff. You got to coach. You got to coach your way out of it sometimes.
No. This isn't 7 games NBA. This is 1 game college basketball.
Yeah. Yep.
No, I that's my only. That's always been my question mark with coach.
And
Nate.
And AP, a lot of complaints this year about the new ball that they used. Said it was too
soft.
Yeah, and so when you're used to shooting your own brand of ball and it changes out, and because you can tell both teams were shooting the ball way too hard and bricking shots and all that. So
bricklayers union, right? Everybody joined, right?
And the sad part about it is, of course, the only reason to change a basketball is for what? Money.
Yeah.
I mean, it came down to somebody.
Logo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's ridiculous. Stick with, like Jay said, stick with what you've been using. All the players are used to it across the board. And, don't mess up, something.
Well, they changed it just for the tournament?
Yeah. No. If you're around those individuals, you'll find that they, let your conscience be your guide. That's a bad omen for that group. They don't have any conscience. They just whatever makes the money.
And see too, they've changed this up. They bring in a whole new floor. They bring in a whole new goals. Me and Todd's old school. We want to see where it used to say Freedom Hall on both ends, and they put the NCAA sticker in the middle of the floor
and be done.
And be done with it.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, this is all about the dollars and the cents.
Yeah, that's why you see all these kids sliding around on the court and stuff, because you got all them, stickers and whatever on there. At least paint it or something if you're going to do it that way. But.
Right. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, but that's the way they run the operation. That's their biggest money maker.
Oh yeah.
They own the men's tournament. They own the women's, so that's where they make most of their money through the year. So they're trying to squeeze every single penny out of the event.
Hey, since you brought up the women's tournament, and I think we talked about this last week. I don't know if we talked about it with you, but I know the group here did, maybe off air, but. The SEC's doing really well. We've got some teams going deep. I don't even remember if Ole Miss won last night or not. Guys, do y'all know? But anyway, and that's my whole point, is that do you think the NCAA would they're all time talking about trying to benefit, the women's sports. But when you have that tournament going on the same time as men's, nobody's paying attention to that women's tournament, man.
Yeah. Why not change it to a different weekend?
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, don't you think there's a possibility where they could stagger, where they're not so many games aren't being played at the same time?
I believe so. If you're totally committed to the sport, why not?
Yeah.
I'll be in Houston next week, and the other one's in Dallas. I mean, I just don't feel like going back and forth.
Well, no, for anything, but especially that.
No. I mean, that's taxing for somebody physically and logistically and everything. That that just happens to be in Texas this year. I mean, other years you can't cover both of them.
No,
it's physically impossible. So
Texas is cotton picking huge.
It is, yeah. But so this is going to be some kind of Final Four, some new teams in there, I guess.
First time, they said last night after the game, first time, I think in tournament history that a number 1 seed has not made it to the Final 8.
Right. Yeah. As soon as that happened, I thought to myself, I don't recall that happening. So I sent it out to somebody and they said, well, they just said it. And I said, well, I didn't know it for a fact, but I sensed it was.
Well, AP, we ain't got to worry about Eric Musselman taking his shirt off no more for a while.
No, everybody can rest easy now. No, I didn't realize he did that. He must have done that some other game.
Oh, yeah, he's done it several times.
I didn't realize that. I just didn't realize that.
I tell you what, Connecticut's tough.
They are. Yeah, they got a good team.
Yeah.
They got a real good team. I'll be up there tonight. Actually, I'll be in that state tonight. So I'll watch it up there with some people that I know.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch it. So,
of course, you'll have to root for UConn around that crowd.
Oh yeah. I have a brother that graduated there, and my high school teammate was the captain of the team, and so I have some history with that school.
Man, that's awesome, dude.
I know those folks up there. I sure do.
When do you head out to Houston?
I'll head back on Thursday. Head back to Houston on Thursday. I'll be there because they let us usually watch practice on Friday. They'll be at the football arena. So they go over there for about an hour to get some shooting practice, and then they send them off somewhere else to really do the actual close practice. But we get to watch them on Fridays usually. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, so it's a great event. I'll see everybody from around the country and get to see some coaches and former players. I'm really looking forward to being at the Final Four. Yeah, I was the only person from Alabama who covered it last year. So I guess I'll be the only person this year, too.
Yeah. Hey, that's all right. Nothing wrong with that. I'm proud of getting to go, man. It's exciting. I mean, I love the sport of basketball. So, me last night.
Love it.
I'm pulling I already talking about my aunt who lives in Indiana, and she's texting me going, you got to put some mojo on your tie, I'm like, I wished I could, but anyway, after the game, I told her, I said, I'm pulling for the winner of Creighton and Princeton, and Creighton will probably win. I love the way Creighton plays basketball. I love Coach McDermott. And,
he's a good coach.
Absolutely. And one thing we were talking about, too, is off air before you came on was how, last night, San Diego State's deep, right? Been together some of them 4 years.
Yes.
21-years versus 18-year-olds.
Right.
I hope that Coach Oates doesn't get caught up in a Calipari type thing where he's,
right, yes.
Because it makes a difference. Not just playing together for such a long time, but 21-year-old man's strength is different than 18-year-old man's strength. And San Diego State got physical and wore us down, man.
Yeah, you're correct. You're correct in that. I hope that doesn't happen with him. I don't think it will. I don't think he'll probably end up getting maybe one every couple of years, if not 1 year. But maybe every couple of years he gets a player of that nature.
Yeah.
But Alabama's, they got a good program. They got to do something about that alternate plan, though. That just irritates me to no end because they have an excellent team. I mean, their roster's as good as anybody. I said to beat them when they're hot, you got to have the Golden State Warriors. Yeah. But when they're cold, they're just like everybody else.
Yeah. Yep. That's true.
But it was disappointing. You're the overall number 1 seed. You're not just the number 1 seed. You're the overall number 1, and you didn't make it past San Diego State.
Yep.
It's disappointing.
Yeah. Well, AP, tell us about what's going on with As We See It. Looked like you had a pretty good interview on, or have one coming up with Derek McKee.
Yeah, we did. Derek McKee, we had a lot of fun with Derek, and of course he played on the team that was a number 2 seed in Louisville and got upset by Providence. They were bombing those 3-pointers, Billy Dunnavant, and I think the guy Delray Brooks, the transfer from Indiana. So, we spoke to Derek. He's very analytical, and he's observant and has he's fun to discuss basketball. I think the first time we ever met, we sat down for 3.5 hours at a breakfast. And I was actually in Indianapolis when I met him. I was at the seminar selection. I said, Derek, I have to go to the seminar now. We had such a good conversation about basketball and everything. But so we had Derek McKee, and I gave some predictions, and some were correct, some were not.
That's good. Well, brother, safe travels out to Houston, man.
Oh, yeah, looking forward to it. And so I'll probably talk to you from Houston next Saturday.
That'll be awesome.
Take care, man. Be safe.
Okay, thank you now. Appreciate it. Yeah, bye-bye now.
Thanks, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our Swami of the SEC on the First National Bank Hotline, making communities great, Mr. A.P. Steadham. It's time to take a break. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on WKAC, the Big 1080.
We all know how the weather is here in Alabama. On some days, it can go from cold to hot in no time, and you need a system that can keep up. Athens Refrigeration and HVAC is owned and operated by industry experts, servicing all makes and models, whether residential or commercial. 24/7 availability, licensed, bonded, and insured. Don't be left out in the cold or heat. Call Athens Refrigeration and HVAC at 256-871-1571. Alabama certification numbers 22183 and 53483. Athens Refrigeration and HVAC.
Limestone Drug, located on the square in downtown Athens, is your local Health Mart pharmacy. As your local Health Mart pharmacy, Limestone Drug is locally owned and has a personal commitment to the community. Limestone Drug honors prescription drug plans, including Medicare. They accept flex spending cards and fill prescriptions in minutes, not hours. Limestone Drug knows there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. So shop Limestone Drug at 200 West Market Street in Athens, your local Health Mart pharmacy. Limestone Drug, caring for you and about you.
Your roof is the first line of defense for your home. Do you have water stains on your ceiling, paint peeling off your walls, shingles missing? It's probably time for you to get your free roof inspection. Locally owned and operated, licensed and insured, Yellowhammer Roofing is the Yellowhammer State hometown team. Yellowhammer Roofing, let our family protect what's most important to you, your family. 256-232-1933 or online at yellowhammerroofing.com.
Keep up with Athens and Limestone County sports with a Play Action Sports Report. Look for it every Wednesday on your favorite podcast platform. The Play Action Sports Report. Scores, interviews, highlights, and more from school, youth, and amateur sports in Athens and Limestone County. The Play Action Sports Report every Wednesday on your favorite podcast platform or online at pasnetwork.net.
Hey, this is West Limestone Boys basketball coach Justin Taylor, and you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
Welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk, ladies and gentlemen. Tom McClung, Old Time Cat here alongside Tojo Jay Vassar, Todd the Bod Tomlin, producer extraordinaire Tim Lambert, and once again on the special or the call-in on the First National Bank Hotline, making communities great. Is Coach Johnny Johnson, James Clemens Jets baseball coach. Coach, I was so excited about you coming on. I was going to give an excellent lead-in and just tripped over my tongue and goofed it all up, buddy.
Well, you messed up when you started to say special guest, because I'm not special.
You're special, Coach. You're special. In other ways, but you're special.
All right, now
here we go.
That's enough of that now.
And that's the way it is.
Fellas?
Hey, man, how's the season going?
Well, right now I'm flipping burgers at the ball yard, so,
Really?
It's not too bad.
Shoot.
Yeah.
That's all right, man.
We got a little tournament going on right now, so we got teams in from South Alabama and Tennessee, and we just wide open between here and Toyota Field this weekend, so it's been great.
That's awesome, man. Well, that turf field pays off for sure, doesn't it? Ain't nobody else playing around here. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was crazy. I'm about to get out of this wind, too, so I apologize.
No, you're fine.
If it's windy.
It's probably chilly, too.
It feels great out here today. But,
so how many games y'all got going on?
Man, we've got 4, 5, 6 today. We got 2 here and 4 over at Toyota Field, so we're wide open. And there's been 8, I guess. Let's see, 4, 8, 11 or 12 over at Toyota Field. and we've had about 6 here, I guess. So it's been crazy.
Wild day of baseball then.
Coach, how great is it they work out with y'all where y'all can host these tournaments?
Oh, the people at Trash Pans have been great, man. They do an excellent job of accommodating us over the last few years. And, last night, they don't have to tarp the field and do all those things and pull workers in to make that happen, but they did.
That's awesome.
And so we're able to start at 10 o'clock this morning, and Garrett and those guys out of GM and that whole crew over there do a great job of reaching out to the community and doing stuff for us.
We were wondering if they were going to tarp the field because they hadn't started it whenever we left. And, so I thought, well, surely they are. So.
Well, they had to do all the field work first. They had to get the mound fixed and home plate areas and all that. And then once that's done, they put the tarp out. So
they had a long night then.
Yes. Those guys, Charlie Weaver, Charlie's a local guy that's the groundskeeper over there. And he won an award in that league this year for his field. And they do a fantastic job.
Every time I hear the name Charlie Weaver, I think of Hollywood Squares.
He's showing you age.
Just going to say that, Coach. Just saying that. Man, how much do those kids enjoy playing on such an awesome field like that? It's got to make them feel like they've made it to the big leagues, right?
Oh, no doubt. And it's just, we talk about, we've got turf now here. And so we're going to play on a natural surface. And is there going to be a transition issue? But you go to a place like that, there's no transition issue because it's kept so well, And then being in that stadium and the Jumbotron and all that stuff, it's a fun event. And we've had success there over the last 3 years. We've played really well there. I think maybe lost once in all the games we played. So it's kind of been our home away from home for sure.
Coach, you got, Russellville tonight? What do you know about them?
They're down from what they've had. I don't know how you could go any other direction. They've won so many state championships over the last, 5 to 10 years.
That's for sure.
They're down talent-wise, and I know their best arm is on the shelf right now and not throwing. And they had area play this week, so they'll probably be a little thin on the mound. But, you always got to respect a program like that because those kids expect to win, right? And it's fun for me. Their new head coach is one of my former players, and that I love, Jess Smith. And so anytime I can get together with Jess, it's a fun day.
Yeah, y'all played them once already and had to come from behind to win that game.
We did. They threw a guy at us that spun breaking balls and kept us off balance and did a good job. But we found a way to come back late and win it for sure.
That's good. Now they're not bringing their officials, right? I know you can't really say that, but we all know, Coach. Wink, wink.
We know how it is in football.
Actually, the State Officials Association uses today as a 4-man crew evaluation for the state playoffs. So they bring in extra officials today and evaluators from the state, and they're evaluating umpires today for the state playoffs and state championship. Doing a 4-man crew. So we'll have a bunch of eyes out there today.
That's great. Speaking of officials, have y'all ran into any situations yet? Because I know they're like with every other sport, there's a shortage of officials. Have y'all haven't had to have any cancellations or minimum umpires or anything like that because of that, have you?
No, we haven't. We're lucky. The Huntsville Association is one of the biggest in the state and has great participation compared to the others, and they do a good job. And we also have better umpires in a lot of areas because of that. And so they do a good job, and we've had zero problems so far at the high school level. There may be some middle school issues I don't know about, but we're good.
Now, Coach, do you have like another tournament going on next week at JC? Because I know my cousin, he plays for East, and I know they played Charles Henderson and Westbrook Christian over there next week for spring break.
We do. We it's really just kind of one long one. We just don't have Toyota Field for all of it. And so, Monday through Thursday next week, we've got teams playing here at JC starting at 10, 11 o'clock in the morning a couple days. And so it'll be going on all day long through Thursday. Charles Henderson's coming up. Enterprise is coming up. East will be here. Like some smaller schools, Hoax Bluff's coming over. Springville, Westbrook Christian. So the second half of it's kind of some smaller schools that want to come in on their spring break, and we provide them a place to play and play some ourselves. So we've got 9 games in 9 days starting this last Wednesday. So we're going to test ourselves, I guess, right before area play.
Yeah, and we're doing the game tonight, and I think think we're doing the Enterprise and Westbrook Christian games next week too.
Okay.
Now, going back to this Toyota Field deal, who approached who about
when this all first started?
Yeah, when it all first started.
Coming out of COVID and them being shut down that one season, they were looking for things to run over there.
Yeah.
And so the original deal was we were approached about playing our Bob Jones series there as the big ribbon cutting kickoff for the stadium. And so that was the plan, and there was some hiccups there with playing the whole series. Bob Jones, one of their home games, whatever. And so we played our opening game that should have been at my place there and did the mayor and the ribbon cutting and all that. And that opened discussions between me and them about, hey, could we do a tournament? And I approached them about the tournament situation, and they were on board, and they've been great about it the last 2 years. We've run 2, good-sized tournaments there.
Yeah, I was wondering the other night if any of the high school players had ever hit a home run there at Toyota Field, and then who was it?
Nate Geis
answered my question.
Yeah, and that one was a little controversial, but we'll take it.
Okay. Yeah.
It hit the top of the wall and kind of came back there, and then it hit something behind the wall. Did it not? But we've actually, that first game against Bob Jones, Colin Luzier hit a home run to take about a 3-run lead against them, put one in the bullpen. And last year, I know Colton Payton, our catcher, hit one over the bullpen. And so we've had 3 or 4 there now. So it's possible. You just got to really get into one at that big place.
Yeah, absolutely.
It depends on which field you hit, because Nate went to left field, and so of course they got that big old screen
all
out.
All of ours have been to left.
Yeah. I just wonder if anybody had hit the big board back there in center field.
Well, not anybody that I've got.
Do the guys, especially the outfielders, do they have any problem adjusting to the size of the field? Being deeper like that. Do they have a hard time adjusting as where to play, how up close, how far back? Because it kind of, I'm sure in the first couple 3 innings, kind of messes with your mind a little bit.
Yeah, especially, the first couple times you play there, the guys tend to want to get deeper than they need to be because it's bigger. So you got to keep an eye on them. But, we've played there enough now that, because I think we played 6 games there last year and another 5 or 6 the year before that. And so our guys have gotten a little more accustomed to it. And the big deal is keeping them at the same place they would normally play. Don't let them get deep because they want to back up and cover that ground behind them. But the reality is guys are going to hit the ball the same there as they do here.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we just got to keep an eye on them early in games especially.
Yeah. Good deal. Yeah, because that would. I played center field for a few years, and I was sitting there imagining that, thinking, man, I need to play a little bit deeper. But like you said, those balls, you don't want a ball that's going to drop in front of you that would be an easy out if you were playing it at a high school field.
Oh yeah, for sure. That, and they have to do a great job of helping each other and backing each other up. The gaps are bigger too, right? If a ball gets by one of them, somebody better be going to help him because it's an extra, 10, 20 feet to the wall.
That's a great point. Yeah, it might be a long way to run, but man, if that ball's hit to right field, left field, whatever, the center fielder needs to be sprinting over there to back him up and vice versa. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we had an example the other night. Brooks Kulovich hit a ball right down the third base line that went into the left field corner. And at our place, that's a double. He's not going to get 3 out of that. Well, he easily got 3 standing up at there because it's longer to left field,
Yeah, it takes a lot longer to track that ball down when it's in that corner for sure.
Exactly right. Right.
And Brooks is not a slow guy either.
No, that sucker can run. He's quick. For sure.
Now, Coach, is just your infield's turf, right, at school?
Just the infield, that's right.
Is there any plans to make the outfield turf as well?
Do you have about $600,000 right now?
All these tournaments you putting on, you make a little money, right?
You're still trying to pay off the infield.
I'm still paying on the infield, man. Now, in all seriousness, there was a discussion of that early on, and it was like $325, $350-ish to do the infield. It would have been close to $1 million to do the whole field.
Wow.
And we'd have had to move the fences in and home plate back to cut out some square footage.
Oh, wow.
So, because we got a lot of foul area here at James Clemens.
Yeah, you do. We really do.
We would have taken some of that out and moved the fences in, and that just wasn't feasible. Not with us having to pay for it ourselves.
Yeah. I'm sure Bradley could have helped you out as much money as he makes over there.
Kim Brew, that guy. He's got to be making a pretty penny. All the Play Action Sports broadcast is doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's rolling in the dough.
Well, I know we are, absolutely. So I can't imagine what he's making.
Me too.
Him and Kurt, man, they're getting after it on some baseball broadcasts. I love it.
That's awesome.
Matter of fact, while I'm out here grilling burgers, I'm going back and listening to the broadcast. I was sitting out here listening to it this morning, matter of fact. So
that's
it's fun.
Yeah, they got comfortable the other night. They pulled up those wicker chairs, and they were just sitting back. I said, man, all y'all need to do is just kick your feet up there and
get an umbrella drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually heard Kimber talk about he went double pillows in his wicker chair.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting me. I sat on one of those metal chairs, and I was thinking about getting one of those, but he stole it before I could get it. So
that's funny. That's funny. No, you guys they do a good job, man, and we appreciate it. I tell you, the people that appreciate it are people that don't live here. You know, like my father's one of them. I know, Tim, you said you got some emails from him or whatever the other night, but you know, he's over in Texas, and he watches Game Changer religiously, and it's just you can't tell what's going on Game Changer. So the fact that he can listen to you guys and kind of get the real deal what's going on, he's really appreciated you guys doing that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's what we try to do, to reach out to the ones that can't make it or you know, live away that, you know, they can listen to us.
Yep,
because we appreciate you, and good luck flipping them burgers, and good luck tonight against those Tigers.
Yeah, be rooting for you.
All right, guys. Thank you for having me. I always enjoy it.
Have a great day. That's Coach Johnny Johnson, the James Clemens baseball coach. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on the Big 1080 WKAC.
Congratulations to Elkmont's Nick Chambliss, our Applebee's Neighborhood Athlete of the Week, and winner of a gift card from the Athens Applebee's, along with a Tailgate Talk t-shirt from that shirt printing place. Go to tailgatetalk.net and enter your nominations for future polls. We'll be back with more Applebee's Tailgate Talk after this. While others have come and gone, the Lion's Den Gym has been roaring as a workout and exercise fixture in Athens, growing from its humble basement beginnings in 1981 to their current 10,000 square foot location at 212 Commercial Drive in Athens. The Lion's Den offers 24/7 access to their ever-expanding equipment collection that includes treadmills and climbers, elliptical trainers, stationary bikes, loose weights and dumbbells, and over 45 different weight machines. Contact the Lion's Den Gym about a membership today at 256-652-2627. Visit them online at lionsdengym.com or on Facebook. The Lions Den Gym, 256-652-2627.
First National Bank is a name everyone in the community recognizes. We see it in our schools, in our parks, and in our homes. First National Bank is proud to help make our community great. I am First National Bank Student Advisory Board member Hayden Blakely from Athens Bible School, and I love to help represent First National Bank in my community. First National Bank, making communities great.
Located at 1880 Highway 72 East and 321 South Jefferson Street in Athens. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. When things go wrong, State Farm is here to help life go right. And Agent Michael Howell is the one who can help get things back on track. See Michael for your auto, home, life, health, property, and business insurance, and be ready for those unexpected twists that life throws at you. Ask about banking and annuities, too. Call State Farm Agent Michael Howell at 232-5400. Visit him online at michaelhowell.net or go see him at 903 South Clinton Street in Athens. State Farm Agent Michael Howell. There when things go wrong, here to help life go right. Real estate, real easy. That's the motto at Innovative Realty Solutions, and providing the highest quality real estate services is their mission. With sound real estate advice, the latest information, and a skilled analysis of the real estate market, Innovative Realty Solutions offers a better home buying and selling experience with a fair, ethical, and, yes, innovative process. Innovative Realty Solutions. Visit them on Facebook, online at innovativerealtysolutions.com, at 100 North Clinton Street in Athens, or call 230-5950. Innovative Realty Solutions. Real estate, real easy.
The world is changing. Changes.
The Tailgate Talk app has changed. It's got a new name and a new look. It's now known as PAS Plus, and it's your home for Applebee's Tailgate Talk, along with James Clements Sports and Calhoun Basketball.
Change, never heard, huh?
Look for the download links at pasnetwork.net or tailgatetalk.net. PAS Plus, Play Action Sports, plus a little extra. PAS Plus from Play Action Sports.
Hi, this is Chris Good, formerly of the Alabama Crimson Tide and Indianapolis Colts, and you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
When you're born in this world, you're given a ticket to the freak show.
So you're a control freak.
It's just a freak show anyway.
Welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk. On the First National Bank Hotline, you heard his intro, making communities great. Freak Daddy.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, dude. What's happening?
Well, today we can all agree on one thing.
What's that?
Basketball sucks for all of us.
Basketball sucks for all of us.
We are all out.
Yes, we are.
We're all equal.
and we don't have to see Eric Musselman's bare chest anymore.
Yeah, that was I loved one of the things I thought with that is they said, if you're going to take your shirt off, at least be for the championship. Like, act like you've been there kind of thing. So.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, we ain't never been there, so.
Yeah.
Oh, mercy.
So we're all equal today. So we're all in pain, and I think I don't know what y'all's brackets were, but I did a bracket at my work, and literally I tried to go wild with it. I had Purdue, Arizona, UCLA, and Auburn. So I
really?
I got
Auburn
cannonballed.
You did go wild.
But
with it.
Here's the thing with this year's tournament. We said it all, last 2 or 3 months leading into it, that absolutely almost anybody could win. It probably wasn't going to be a blue blood or these mid-majors. These guys have been together 3 and 4 years, and they know each other and play well together. They're in that groove versus the blue bloods who have a lot of one and dones and things like that. And basketball's just got so much parity. To me, that's why it's the best. College basketball is the best sport there is because anybody can beat anybody.
I think I know we're talking supposed to talk hockey, but I think the one thing, and I was talking with a good friend of mine in Kentucky about it, is that this will put a question mark, at least in the basketball world, the NIL money, because you think about how much some of these bigger schools paid, and they're not in.
Yeah.
So it's
Great
like,
point.
wait a minute, now you've got a kid that you paid, like an Oscar Sheboy, who ended up getting, close to $3 million. Well, what kind of an epic waste of money was that? And looking at you want to make them win a championship or whatever. So, I think that's going to change that. And I think with football, too, it'll probably be. Because everybody can't win.
No.
Not everybody's going to win a championship. Not everyone's going to win. If you look at it, you're going to get one conference championship and one national championship, and they don't care about bowl games or all that stuff anymore. So I think it's going to make it really interesting to see, like, man, what am I spending this amount of money for? Did it really work for me?
Well, bringing that up, and you work in this world, marketing and those type things. How much really does it make a difference? Like, I'm a 57-year-old man, so I'm old, but I'm not going to buy or trade with somebody because a running back is being sponsored by them. You know what I'm saying? Like, how far do you really think that NIL money really puts in the pockets of the people giving it to the players? I don't know. Honestly, I think it's the only that really is existent is just to make what they were already doing legal. Yeah,
right.
That's probably true. Absolutely. Yeah.
Where it's a situation to where we all want to look at it and we all want to say, well, no way Auburn doesn't cheat and Kentucky doesn't cheat, and no way would Nick Saban doing it. And it's like, they all been doing it. They've been doing it for a long time. You go back to the SMU did it.
Yeah.
So it's like it's been that way for a long time. I've never understood it. You have people that have large amounts of money that are no way, shape, form, or fashion anything I even remotely understand. But it's still people. So you'll have these big boosters that have stupid money and they want to feel like a VIP, so they get a box at the football stadium named after them, or they get to meet all these players and their kids get to meet them, and they'll pay whatever amount of money to do that. And I've never understood it. I'm just like, even on my side, when people buy a Freak Daddy jersey for $2,500, I'm just sitting there with my mouth dropping open because I'm like, not a shot. Like,
but you don't understand. You're
you guys,
Freak Daddy. We do. You are Freak Daddy, so you don't understand what you are.
But,
but I think I'm worth the jersey. The cost of the jersey is what I'm worth.
But Texas A&M bought Eric Dickinson that Trans Am.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it wasn't SMU. That was Texas A&M that bought that, according to him.
Well, I'll tell on Kentucky. I mean, when I was, growing up or whatever, I remember that it was the crazy part was Jamal Mashburn, who played at Kentucky, and he had a Ferrari. And he was from the Bronx, New York. Like, how does a kid have a Ferrari? That 16, 17-year-old kid. It doesn't make sense.
No.
But everybody was like, they weren't going to tell on themselves. And I'm sure, like I said, it's going on everywhere. But yeah, the NIL stuff, I've never understood it. I do agree with the existence of it because you look at like the SEC network. They're making millions and millions of dollars, and if they didn't have these good kids, they would never be able to make that. So yeah, I just wish they would probably do it in the form of a trust fund or something to where, hey, you play at Alabama, you get this much money. If you make it, you hit these benchmarks, we'll put it in some kind of fund for you, and you can have access to that fund when you're 30.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yep. It's not a bad idea.
So when you're not stupid anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It motivates you to live a little bit longer and not do stupid things.
Great point.
Yeah, it sounded like at last night's game, sounded like the WWE broke out in that third period here.
Yeah, I think that the Birmingham side of things. That's a great rivalry, and I think that we always joke. We go on social media and call them Little Sister and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's got some heat to it, and tonight, sold out crowd, military night.
Cool,
awesome.
If you didn't buy a ticket to watch Huntsville and Birmingham tonight, you're gonna miss out on a lot of stuff because I promise you there will be some carryover from last night to tonight. So those who didn't get a ticket, you're probably gonna have to rely on watching it on the TV or YouTube or your friends send you a video, but it's going to be a good night tonight for sure.
Birmingham is the Decatur heritage of hockey. Just punks, man.
Bunch of punks.
And it's kind of funny, because Joe Stroud, who is the general manager there, he was at the Vipers and Alabama Hammers here, and I've been good friends with him, and it's just it's just neat to see them succeed, and I think they were scared when Art Clarkson passed away what they were going to be able to do, and just that they can have it, and it's just I like to see when the good guys win stuff. And like I said, they're a great organization, and like I said, every time I've went down to a game down there, there's been some fun jib-jabbing back and forth or whatever, but it's always like people telling you thanks for coming, and vice versa. When they come up here, we're always like, hey, glad y'all came up. And it's kind of like Alabama and Auburn. It's like you're there and you can't stand each other, but at the end of the day, you're like, we're still Alabama.
End of the day? What do you mean? I still can't stand it. No, I'm just playing.
When Alabama had won that year, those years where Alabama had won 2 and Auburn had won 3rd, it was like, hey, there's 3 national championships from the state. I think there was even everybody kind of claimed that one a little bit, So.
Well, now there's 3 or 4 games left in the regular season.
6.
Is it 6? Oh, I'm counting home
left.
games. But as far as playoffs goes, do we know kind of what?
I think as of right now, unless we had an epic meltdown, which I don't see that. Like right now, Peoria, Birmingham, Huntsville, Evansville, and Roanoke have all clinched. So there's 3 more teams that look like they'll get in. It will probably be, Fayetteville, Knoxville, Pensacola. I don't see Quad City jumping up, but they might. But, we're at 66 points, but now they're doing percentages, so we're at 66.67 or 66%. So we're above Evansville. They're at 0.62, and Roanoke is 0.61. So I don't see us dropping out into 5th place or 6th place. So we'll get that home ice advantage at least for the first round.
Nice.
Yeah. And they always do it where they'll do the top 8 teams. So Peoria would play Fayetteville, Birmingham would play Pensacola, we would play Knoxville, which would be a wild draw for the first round. But it is what it is. You got to, once you get to the playoffs, you got to beat whoever. It doesn't really matter who you play. But
Yep.
But I mean, I definitely we're in the playoffs, and I really don't see us, like I said, having a complete meltdown and not finishing in the top 4. I mean,
Gotcha.
we're, as far as points, we're at 66. Evansville's at 62, and then our schedule remaining isn't that hard. I mean, we got Birmingham that we're playing tonight, and then we play Macon tomorrow, and then next weekend I'm trying to think who we.
Quad Cities. No, we got the reunion weekend next week against Pensacola.
Yeah, on the 31st.
Yeah. So we're in a good spot. I mean, we've had a good record against Pensacola this year, and I think it's gonna be fun. And then next weekend we'll have the reunion weekend, which is the 18 and 19 guys coming back, and then Nolan Kaiser getting his jersey retired. So that'll be a fun night to be there. And then just a little hint for those that can't come tonight, we will beat our own record of the SPHL league record tonight for attendance. So
wow.
I didn't think that would ever happen after COVID. But this year we've had a bunch of sellouts and things have been going really, really well. So we're going to set the bar again, which I think will be our, I want to say maybe 7th
or 8th, I think.
7th or 8th record break, breaking our own. And it's been breaking our own record, which has been really cool, which doesn't usually happen. Usually you're going after somebody else, but we're chasing ourselves, I guess.
Man, that's great. Well, buddy, thanks for calling. Thanks for talking to us this morning, and we'll let you get back to what you was doing, and have a good one, man. Enjoy tonight.
Yeah.
We'll see you tonight, man.
See you, brother.
Roll Tide, War Eagle, and
Cats.
who do we say? Do we say go FAU? Is that what we say?
I'm for Creighton.
There we go. All right, guys.
Thanks, buddy.
All right,
See you.
man.
Ladies and gentlemen, our main man, Mr. Clay Coleman, Freak Daddy himself. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talking, WKAC, the Big 1080.
Enjoy all the smiles and none of the slowdowns with a gig from Ardmore Telephone Company. Get 1 gig now for only $89.90 a month when you sign up or upgrade today. Work from home, learn online, game and stream with no buffering. You'll be grinning from ear to ear with a gig. Call 800-830-9946 now to get your gig life started. That's 800-830-9946.
Daly & Son Car Care is Ardmore's only one-stop auto repair and tire shop. Whether it's major mechanic or brake work or routine maintenance like an oil change or lube job, Daly & Son Car Care has been satisfying customers all over with their fast and friendly service. They're also your headquarters for quality Cooper tires. Stop by and see Wayne, Nikki, or Dale at 25600 Main Street in Ardmore, Tennessee, or call them at 931-427-4651. They're on Facebook, too. Daly & Son Car Care, open Monday through Friday, 7:30 till 5, and Saturday, 7:30 till noon. P4 Physical Therapy is a new outpatient provider offering community-based care with a unique partnership model that allows them to consistently deliver world-class outpatient care, emphasizing personalized hands-on treatment. Whether it's orthopedic, physical, geriatric, or manual therapy, sports or neuro rehab, telehealth, or most any type of muscle or joint pain, P4 Physical Therapy promises to treat you with integrity, compassion, faithfulness, and selflessness. Locations in Athens, Huntsville, and Winfield, Alabama, as well as Fayetteville and Knoxville, Tennessee. Look for them on Facebook or online at p4physicaltherapy.com. PASnetwork.net. It's now your gateway to the Play Action Sports Network. Whether it's Play Action Sports coverage of school, youth, and amateur sports from Athens and Limestone County, or Calhoun basketball, James Clemens Sports, and Applebee's Tailgate Talk via PAS Plus. PASnetwork.net. Follow the links to download apps to hear live streams and podcasts, enable Alexa skills, or listen live on your computer. Covering Athens and Limestone County area sports, PASnetwork.net.
Hey, this is my girl basketball coach Tom Waller, and you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
And welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk, ladies and gentlemen, on the special guest segment sponsored by Yellowhammer Roofing. We have got the author, John Rosengren. The greatest summer in baseball history, how the 73 season changed us forever. Now, John, we've been speculating on what happened in that 73 season because we've not read your book yet. Fill us in and let us know, man.
Well, I'm happy to. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for joining us.
So, 1973 was actually a watershed year in baseball history. Not only did you have a very exciting pennant race with the Mets and the coming from last place on August 30th to win the division and then the playoff and go to the World Series. And you had the Oakland A's, the wrestling, irascible bunch of guys who fought among themselves but were united by a common enmity of their owner, Charlie Finley. And they got to the World Series. And there you had Willie Mays in his final years passing the torch of superstardom to Reggie Jackson in his first World Series, who defined the modern superstar with his chest-thumping big talk.
Right.
And then we also had George Steinbrenner buying the Yankees at a time when the Yankees had fallen on hard times. And he brought the infusion of big money into the game to buy back the Yankees' faded glory. And you had, Hank Aaron chasing Babe Ruth's hallowed 714 mark, and that riveted the nation, and not just baseball fans, but NBC was interrupting its programming to announce his home runs in September, and he was Newsweek called him the most conspicuous sports figure in America. So that was huge. And most significantly, perhaps, was the introduction of the designated hitter rule, which was the first major rule change in 80 years in Major League Baseball, and it changed the game forever. So that one season, I think, there's before 1973 and after 1973 in Major League Baseball history.
Gotcha. Now, call me what you want to call me. I don't care. The designated hitter rule is for candy butts that don't want to bat after they throw a high and tight. You got to expect to be up there and go batting as well.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
That's what Carl Yastrzemski raised that same argument. He was concerned that if pitchers could go on and take the mound without having to come to the plate, that they'd be more likely to throw at batters. And sure enough, there was a couple of guys did a study, an analytic study on that. In the first 8 years of the designated hitter rule, they looked at what's called a moral hazard, where if you can engage in insurance companies use this, right? And the actuaries. And if you can engage in risky behavior without fear of consequence, the theory goes, you're more likely to engage in that risky behavior. And sure enough, they noticed that in those first 8 years, batters were more likely to get hit by 11 to 17%. So, yes,
double-digit percentage. Double-digit percentage, yeah.
Which analytic study aside, that's kind of common sense. It's human nature. I mean, you know what I mean? If I'm not going to have to receive any consequences, I'm probably going to do something,
Right. But here's the other thing that's counterintuitive is people thought, well, it'll be better for hitters, but not, the offense. It'll be better for offense than defense. And sure enough, they started it because attendance was down and they wanted to do something to bring fans back into the ballpark. And sure enough, it did raise hits and number of runs and home runs, and most importantly, brought fans back into the game. Yeah. But it also, surprisingly, raised the number of pitchers who were completing games and winning 20 games because they weren't getting pinch hit for. And so there were 12 20-game winners in the American League in 1973, which was a record number.
Interesting.
Okay.
Wow. And that makes sense. My thing with the designated hitter rule was always, if you're going to do it, let's do it on both sides.
Yeah.
Like do it across the board.
Which they do now.
They do now, but then,
right. And so it did cause controversy, like in the World Series, of course, the American League pitchers had to bat, and they hadn't swung a bat all year. So people were worried it was going to look pretty ugly.
That's when you say,
there were some surprises. I'll say that.
That's when you say, that's not our problem. Y'all are the wusses that don't want to bat.
John,
anyways, go ahead. Let's change the subject. Go ahead, John. Go ahead.
John, how do you think the state of the game is now?
Good question.
Well, it's interesting because we're talking about rule changes. And of course, there are the new rule changes coming into effect this year. And I personally don't mind the shift because I think it's a strategic move. And, it can cut down on runs and offense. But I think, they were doing this back with Ted Williams, actually Hank Aaron in 1973. He had a bad back, and so he had to adjust his swing and could only pull the ball. So teams shifted, and that, hurt his output. But I think I like the defensive shift for the strategic element, and that's, to me, baseball is a cerebral game, and so I like to see as much strategy as possible in it. But that said, I'll see how it plays out this year. The size of the bases being enlarged, it's kind of funny. They say it's going to be reduce the distance by 4.5 inches, and that's going to be enough to increase stolen bases. It seems like such a tiny amount, but we'll see, right?
Yeah.
And then
you have to run first, though.
That's true. That's true. But in order to get the pitch clock, I think, will be the most interesting thing. I think once people adjust, nobody's going to be complaining that games are going faster, because I'm so tired, as you guys probably are, the guys stepping out of the batter's box and adjusting both their batting gloves. It's like, come on, guys, play ball.
Yeah. Absolutely. You're right about that.
I went to Jupiter. I went to work. I worked down south down in South Florida, and caught a game in Jupiter, Florida at Roger Dean Stadium. Tuesday it was, I believe. And pitch clock was working. It was nice. I prefer the pitch clock as it is, because
get in there and do your business and go on.
And honestly, if you get down to 5 seconds and the pitcher's he's eyeing the rubber, toeing the rubber, and getting ready to deliver, they shut the clock off. It's not like not like a shot clock with a horn, or you
right, yeah, right. Or they just stop the action.
Exactly right. Yeah, that's not it. I mean, the clock is there, and it's observed. I mean, both sides.
Yeah. I think what's interesting is they want to get the game time down to 2.5 hours, which is what it was in 1973. But even in 1973, at 2.5 hours, people were complaining the game was too long because it had been 2 hours, 20 years earlier.
I'd like to see them go back to real dirt, dirt infield, man. Love it.
Yeah, I'm all for the dirt myself, and natural grass.
Yeah.
Yes, natural. Definitely.
Yeah, I miss the smell of that.
Yeah, but the game, was just these 4-hour games, 3.5, 4-hour games. That's just too long. Because you got some kids, you got I got little ones, and they can't sit there that long.
Mm-mm.
Right. No, that's true. But I think one of the ththings causing excitement in 1973 was Hank Aaron chasing Babe Ruth, and the number of home runs he was hitting. And he was, he needed 41 that season to tie 714. And he got off at a torrid pace, and he hit 700, and everybody was just really excited. And then what a lot of people today probably don't realize is, there's obviously people understand the pressure of trying to produce home runs. We watch it with Aaron Judge. We've seen it with others. But the thing that Hank Aaron had to deal with was that summer he was getting more hate mail, or he was getting more mail than anybody in the country but President Nixon, and a lot of it was hate mail. And there were these ugly racial epithets. There were threats on his life, on his children's lives. And so he had a, policeman assigned to him as a bodyguard. There were guys in the stands looking around, trying to make sure nobody had a gun. And that wasn't an unrealistic fear, because just the year earlier in the 72 World Series, a guy was arrested with a gun inside the stadium. So Hank Aaron lived under incredible pressure and fear that year, and at the same time he bore it with a grace and dignity that I think makes him a hero for all time.
Yes.
And so in my book, he's the all-time home run king.
Oh, yes.
I think he is in just about anybody. Maybe not a 25-year-old, person, but anybody who's been around, absolutely, yes. And always will be.
Right. Yeah. So that's part of the story I tell and unravel in this book, along with George Steinbrenner, which, he bought the team and he said, I'm going to stick to building chips. Well, before spring training was over, he'd given the manager a list of guys who needed haircuts. and he had given guys raises and made them the highest paid team in the league. And that was before the season even started. And then, of course, he continued to meddle so much during the season that Ralph Houk quit. The manager quit at the end of the year because he just couldn't handle it. And then, of course, everybody knows the saga that unfolded with Billy Martin and George Steinbrenner. So he just couldn't stay away and keep from meddling with the team.
So I was going to say, so it looks like that the first manager wasn't the only manager or Billy Martin wasn't the only manager that had problems with him.
Nope.
Well, exactly. And actually, before, also early on, not just the manager quit, but his major partner was forced out, Mike Burke. And Lee McPhail, the general manager.
Oh, I did not.
Quit.
I don't remember that. Well, of course, I was 8, but I mean, through the years, I've read about stuff. And,
Todd, what's wrong with you, man?
I know, but no, I mean, I've read enough. I should remember that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Now, didn't he buy the team? I'm sorry. Go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
The boss was not the dream boss. Everybody hated the boss.
Now, didn't he buy the team from CBS? Didn't CBS own the Yankees?
Right. CBS had bought the team in '64 for something like $13 million and change, and Steinbrenner got it for $10 million. So they ran the team at a loss, and not only were they losing games, they were losing money. So Steinbrenner bought the team for $10 million. Bargain basement price. I heard today they're worth something like $7 billion.
Yeah.
So wouldn't you have loved to have gotten in on that deal, like buying Apple stock when it was first issued?
No kidding.
Exactly.
Because I remember my dad's a huge Yankee fan, and one of his friends, they are the only ones that had TVs at the time, and they could watch Yankee games on CBS, and he said that was the best time of his life, getting to watch Mickey Mantle play ball.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Those were the glory days with Mickey Mantle, but they had fallen on hard times after that.
Yeah, he did, and I hate that because he was such a good ball player.
Well, John, I'm looking down the list of your other books, and this is not the only baseball book you've put out there.
No, I also did a biography of Hank Greenberg, who was a Hall of Fame player in the 30s and 40s, but most significantly was a Jewish ball player who brought hope to the Jewish people during a time of intense anti-Semitism around leading up to and through World War II. And I did a book on Juan Marshall and John Roseborough, who had the famous fight where Marshall clubbed Roseborough over the head with his bat.
Dang!
Wow.
That kept Marshall out of the Hall of Fame, but then the two surprisingly reconciled and became friends. And so I tell that story in the fight of their lives. And then I last year, a collection of my baseball articles came out called Classic Baseball. And it has stories about, some heroes like Hank Aaron and others, but it also has stories about lesser knowns, like a guy here in Minnesota, a utility infielder with a cult following called La Tortuga. So that's a fun book, too.
Tortuga, that's an island, isn't it? Or
It's means turtle in Spanish.
Oh, it means
he's
turtle.
A Venezuelan. He's a Venezuelan who runs who earned his nickname.
Because he run like a turtle.
Right.
That's funny.
Now, John, did I read this? Where one of the Braves criticized for sitting Hank Aaron in that Cincinnati series because they knew he was coming home, could have break the record at home. Then the Braves take some heat for that, for sitting him in that last game in Cincinnati.
Yeah, he stalled the 1973 season at 7-13, so he didn't quite get there. Hit 40 home runs, but he needed 41 to tie. So long, cold winter for him, but when he came back, he pretty quickly, in that first series against Cincinnati, hit number 714. And then they waited till they got back to Atlanta for him to hit 715.
Against Al Downing.
Al Downing, yeah.
Yeah.
And those LA Dodgers. I can still remember watching that.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Kurt I remember
Gowdy.
seeing that on
Kurt
TV.
Gowdy. Hey, and that's probably outside of Keith Jackson, Kurt Gowdy been the best. But Kurt Gowdy would have been the best one to call him baseballer anyway. So.
Yeah. Although, there's a YouTube video with Vin Scully, saying that a black man in the deep South the fans are cheering for a black man in the deep South. It's just it's chilling to hear his call.
It is. I'm glad you said that.
And then the two guys that followed him around the bases, he became friend with them ever since.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, I'm sure in that moment, that'd be scary because, all these threats against him and stuff, and you don't know if somebody is going to, what they're doing, what their intentions are. Of course, they were just happy, But.
Exactly. Yeah, they're there to celebrate, but when you see him run around, he's not too happy to have him along for the ride.
No, he is not.
No. It was a little bit easier to make it onto the field.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they talk. I talk about that in this book during the 73 season. There were several times when fans would come onto the field kind of prematurely to celebrate, when they thought the team was going to win, especially at Chase Stadium or in the Oakland Coliseum. They would jump onto the field and the police had to, go chase them away. There was one fan who ran up, first grabbed Reggie Jackson's hat in Oakland, grabbed his hat during the World Series, and starts running away. Reggie drops his glove, gives chase, and then a woman comes and grabs his glove and runs away with it.
Goodness gracious.
I mean, can you imagine that happening today?
Then this is way before Morgana.
And I fixed to say the Kissing Bandit was the first one that popped into my head there.
Hey, way off.
Yeah, the Kissing Bandit.
I'd forgotten all about that.
Well, way off subject, but I saw you where you did a retweet from the Tigers history where Mark the Bird Fidricks was on the cover of Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
The only baseball player to ever be on Rolling Stone. But and it had to be around this time because I was around 10, 11, or 12, and I'd have been 12 at this time. But he actually got hurt, and my great-grandmother, and she didn't know who Mark the Bird Fidrick was, but carried me to see the Evansville Triplets play. I'm from Evansville, Indiana originally, and we were there visiting.
Although
and
he
I got to see he was there. Yeah, well, no, it does not sound like it. But yeah, Mark was down AAA. It was AAA ball, and he was down rehabbing an injury, and I got to see him pitch. And that place was, I just can barely remember, but I remember it being packed.
Yeah.
And everybody just coming to see him. You know, we've had so many great players come through the years, and in our minds growing up, I mean, the game's changed so much, right? You don't steal bases anymore. You don't, hit and run. All those kind of strategic things. Right? Small ball's out. But I don't know. Baseball was just so much more fun to me in the 70s and 80s. I don't know.
Right.
What are your thoughts?
Well, I think there's something, too, about nostalgia and the way it figures into our perception of sports, because I think there's a time in a boy's life between when he learns to read a box score and he discovers girls, that sports are magical. That's the golden era of sports, I think, in our memory of when we could understand the game, we were consumed by it, maybe collecting baseball cards, following it, listening to it on the radio. That was the golden era of sports, I think, for most of us, regardless of when that occurred.
John, that should have been a line in the movie Sandlot. There comes a time in a boy's life when he learns to read a box score. Right before Squints kisses Wendy on the mouth.
That would have been a great line.
That would have been a great line to put in that movie right there.
Right. His sports fandom ends at that moment.
You bring up a great point, though.
Exactly.
Well, tell everybody.
And so I think.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, sorry. I just think it's natural for us to, kind of look back on those days and think that's when the sports were best.
Yeah.
And for me, I turned 9 the summer of '73, and so I was looking for a season when, all these important events occurred, and that changed the game significantly, and it happened in '73. But I think I also loved writing about it so much and researching about it so much because I remembered it so fondly as a time from my youth.
That's good. Go ahead, Tim.
Well, I was going to say, tell everybody how they can get this book or some of your other ones.
Well, they're on Amazon. They're on IndieBound. If you want to support independent booksellers, that's INDIE, Bound, IndieBound. And then, people can ask for them at their library. And if they don't have it at the library, ask them to order it. And a lot of times libraries will. So many ways for people to find it.
I think that's the first time
also
I've ever...
local bricks and mortar stores, too, of course. Okay. They can find it there at Barnes & Noble and others.
That's the first time I've ever heard an author say, look at your library. It should be there. So kudos, bud. Kudos to that.
Well, I'm a big fan of libraries. They're important to democracy in our communities.
Exactly. Yes, that's the truth. That's the truth. Well, brother, thank you so much, John.
Thanks, John.
Ladies and gentlemen, John Rosengren, with author of the book, The Greatest Summer in Baseball History, How the 73 Season Changed Us Forever. Thanks for your time, my friend. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me on. Enjoyed it.
Yes, sir.
Take care.
Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
And ladies and gentlemen, it's time to take a quick break. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on WKAC, the Big 1080.
Missed part of this week's Tailgate Talk? Go online to tailgatetalk.net and hear the archives. Call or text us with your comments during the show at 256-812-1848. We'll be back with more Applebee's Tailgate Talk on WKAC.
Your roof is the first line of defense for your home. Do you have water stains on your ceiling, paint peeling off your walls, shingles missing? It's probably time for you to get your free roof inspection. Locally owned and operated, licensed, and insured. Yellowhammer Roofing is the Yellowhammer State hometown team. Yellowhammer Roofing. Let our family protect what's most important to you, your family. 256-232-1933 or online at yellowhammerroofing.com.
We all know how the weather is here in Alabama. On some days, it can go from cold to hot in no time, and you need a system that can keep up. Athens Refrigeration and HVAC is owned and operated by industry experts, servicing all makes and models, whether residential or commercial. 24/7 availability, licensed, bonded, and insured. Don't be left out in the cold or heat. Call Athens Refrigeration and HVAC at 256-871-1571. Alabama certification numbers 22183 and 53483. Athens Refrigeration and HVAC.
Limestone Drug, located on the square in downtown Athens, is your local Health Mart pharmacy. As your local Health Mart pharmacy, Limestone Drug is locally owned and has a personal commitment to the community. Limestone Drug honors prescription drug plans, including Medicare. They accept flex spending cards and fill prescriptions in minutes, not hours. Limestone Drug knows there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. So shop Limestone Drug at 200 West Market Street in Athens, your local Health Mart pharmacy. Limestone Drug, caring for you and about you.
Applebee's Tailgate Talk wants to recognize our local athletes, and you can help. Go to tailgatetalk.net throughout the school year to vote for the Applebee's Neighborhood Athlete of the Week. The winner receives a gift card from the Athens Applebee's and a Tailgate Talk t-shirt from that shirt printing place. Submit your own nominations for future polls, too. While you're there, check out the Tailgate Talk archives and see what you might have missed. That's the Applebee's Neighborhood Athlete of the Week. Cast your vote today from Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Tailgate Talk.
This is ex-NBA player and coach Rudy Tomcatovich, and you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
Welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk, everybody. This is Tom McClung, old Tom here, alongside Jojo G. Vessel. That's my beanie impersonation. I'll do my best. With Todd DeBod Tomlin. You're not playing with your beanie. I love you, man. Producer extraordinaire Tim Lambert. And we've got the Clements High School head soccer coach joining us, Jonathan Hicks. Jonathan, welcome.
Hey, it's nice to be here.
Man, it's good to have you. So, Coach Legg is texting us. Wow. So we'll let you share about the soccer championship game today.
Yeah. Well,
that's the big news.
Yeah. So today, unfortunately, the field is not going to be playable. It would be unsafe for the kids to be out there trying to get their best game in, and so the games today have been postponed. They'll happen. It's just I'm not sure when.
Coach Legg mentioned it might be possibly AEA week, or what we call AEA week, spring break.
AEA week for those
us old folks. It's still AEA week.
Yeah. When everybody took it at the same time.
Same time.
So, is East and who's in the finals?
It will be East and us for the girls.
Perfect. That's exciting.
And
that's good for you because you had all those extra duties, to, putting the tournament on and then having to coach and win and get your team there. So that's awesome, man.
Well, I've been lucky enough to have really good help this year. I've got an assistant coach, Leslie Gonzalez, that she has been fantastic in helping really just help push those girls to where they really, really need to be.
That's awesome.
So, and that's been amazing to see her grow as a coach as well.
Yeah.
So,
well, she got you to right there to help guide, so that's perfect, man.
And I had her as a player and all the way through her high school career, and she was fantastic, and she's really trying to get those girls to understand what it means to win.
Yeah. And it's a lot of work.
It's a
lot of discipline and work and effort and teamwork and all that. So, are y'all team-wise? Are y'all on the younger side?
Oh yeah, I've got 2 seniors this year, just 2, and I've got 2 juniors and 1 sophomore. And the rest is 9th and 8th graders.
Oh man, future's looking great.
It is. It's looking fantastic, and even for the rest of this season, we just got to keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
And it's looking great.
Well, it'd be awesome to knock out. And no, I say awesome. I went to East, so I'm not going to get carried away. I'll be nice to you, Coach. I'm just teasing. But obviously to knock off a
state runner-up.
A state runner-up, yeah, absolutely. And a 5A, classification school. That's pretty. That'd be big. So
yeah, and it'll be a tough game whenever we get to do it.
Yeah.
So
hopefully y'all will get it in, and hopefully the weather will stay enough where y'all can, it'll dry out and you can get out there. And like you said, nobody. I mean, even if you could play, you don't want to play in that slop, and where it's not. It's not fun when you can't really play the game. You can't make your cuts. You can't,
especially when you got more games.
Yeah, and you can't risk injuries and things like that. So that was a great call. It was a good call.
Well, and it's primarily for the safety of the kids. And I mean, I know that the Tanner boys and the Elkwont boys are both in great places this year. They're both playing fantastic seasons as well. Same way with East. I mean, it's just all those teams want to stay healthy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so hopefully we'll find a good time to get those in.
Now, how y'all looking for the area?
Currently, we're undefeated. For the girls, we haven't lost a game. Guys are in a little different boat, but they're also growing and building.
Are they young as well?
I've got quite a few seniors this year. I've actually got 5, but 3 of them hadn't really played soccer before.
Oh, do you coach both?
I do. I'm head coach for both.
Ooh, hands full.
I reckon.
Yeah.
How do you manage that?
Well,
honestly.
And like I said, it's come down to having good help. I've had Coach Owens over there at Clements has been helping me with the guys, and like I said, Leslie's been helping me with the girls, and so it's easy to kind of delegate between the two. And while Owens was still doing basketball, I was primarily working with the boys.
I mean, have you had a situation where you've had to miss part or one or some of the whole game because you had to beat the boys or girls?
We try to schedule them so that I don't have to miss anything.
Good. I started to say, because more and more of these, I've seen schools that the girls might go one place and the guys will go somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier when you have a program that's that big, and where we're there. But we are not, and we're still. I mean, we've had a team for quite a few years, but we're still in that building process, getting kids to say, hey, soccer's a fun sport, and it's a good sport. And
are there any kids you think walking the hallway that might be interested that like, oh man, if I could get her around, we'd be,
I try all the time.
Well, good for you.
I try all the time.
That's all you can do, Coach.
Yep.
I know Coach Lex tried probably get you some help.
He's always trying to help us all succeed. So.
Now, one of your girl seniors is Jade McLeay, right?
Sure is.
And playing basketball, I know she was kind of, trying to get her legs under her for soccer. How'd that turn out for her coming right off the basketball floor?
Well, luckily she's a skilled enough goalie, and she's our starting keeper. So she's in the goal, and lucky enough that she's that strong of a goalkeeper that she can able to just jump right in and just do it. And she loves the sport. She enjoys doing it, and so it makes it a lot easier. And she's one of the leaders, so that was part of one of our issues at the beginning of the season, is that one of our leaders is gone, and really the only other person that could play goalie for us is our other senior, and we need her on the field, in the middle of the field, helping control the game.
Yeah.
So,
the girls' team has made an appearance. Coaches feel different about this, but fans like to talk about the rankings. They've made an appearance in the top 10.
We did. We managed to make top 8 this year.
Nice.
We're in the top 8, and number 8. And last year we made it up to 11th, but nobody sees past 10.
Nobody sees past 10.
So,
that's old news.
Yeah. But we've had some really good seasons the past few years, and we've really been building up to this place. So
wow. That's incredible to be that young, ranked, county finals, and you don't have a hard time keeping the girls' heads from blowing up too big, do you?
No, not really. But
that's good.
And part of it's being young.
Because when you are young, exactly, it's like, I'm on the 8th ranked soccer team in the state. Can't tell me nothing. I don't think I will run that sprint, Coach, because we're number 8. That's what they're thinking. Yeah, I'm telling you.
That's not what they do.
That's not what they do, though.
Yeah, well, you said, how do you think you got to number
exactly.
8?
But, when you're that age, you don't think that way. That's awesome, though. But congratulations, man. That's phenomenal.
I appreciate it.
Now, who's in your area?
Okay, so in our area, we actually have 7 teams in our area.
Wow.
And for soccer and baseball and those other sports, and spring especially, only the top 2 teams in that area get to go on to playoffs. And so in our area this year, we have Tharptown, Elkmont, Tanner, Madison Academy, and Whitesburg Christian, and then Alabama School of Cyber Technology and Engineering.
Wow. So, I mean, are there other areas close by that have maybe just 4 teams? Or is soccer more, do they combine them? Or most of them 6 or 7?
For soccer, they don't have smaller groupings, so it's 1A to 3A.
Okay, there we go. That's why the groupings are bigger then.
It's 1A to 3A, and then 4A.
Okay, I guess you have to, because not everybody probably has a soccer team.
No, and a lot of the county, Lauderdale County, there's not a whole lot of like the 3A schools that don't really have teams.
Okay, that makes it tough though.
It does. It does.
And so, how does private schools, are they grouped in with everybody just like?
They are.
Yeah. And I know it makes it difficult, maybe sometimes not so much at the lower level, but once you get into state tournament, that's where your top private schools.
Well, and
for a public school to win a state championship in soccer is sometimes unheard of.
Yes. Whitesburg Christian was in our area last year, and they made it very, very far. And Mars Hill was actually in our area last year.
Oh, okay.
But they've been so consistent about making it to finals or runners up and that kind of stuff that they got pushed out.
Well, good.
So we lucked out in that, but then we ended up with Madison Academy. So
you just traded one for another.
Yeah.
Wow.
So talk about Coach Norman's team.
I honestly, since they're not in our area, I don't really get a chance to look, but they are a strong team. I know that they've got some really, really good players, especially ones that have already been committed.
Yeah.
And they're just good, solid players. And I mean, I know they deserve those recognitions that they're getting.
I might ask something stupid. I've never asked a soccer coach this before. I don't know. I just never thought about it, I guess.
Yeah.
But since Jay kind of brought that up, like, with football especially, basketball, I don't know about baseball so much, but, man, football coaches, they're breaking down that film for their opponent the next week and looking at their difference. Is that so much a thing in soccer, or is it like, this is just what we do, this is our offense, this is how we defend? Obviously, you have to know a little bit about the opposition, but, I mean, are y'all breaking down film from an opponent? I mean, is it that kind of...
Well, especially the teams that we've already played, I film every game for us so that we can have that opportunity, and then the kids can go through and analyze it and watch it and tear it apart and say, okay, that's what we did wrong, or that's what we did right. Let's continue to capitalize on that. So yeah, we do film it, and we do take the time, especially during spring. I mean, you got to find ways to make practices happen, and sometimes that is a film day.
Yeah, with this crazy weather, absolutely.
Yes. And so, because gym practices only do you so much.
Yeah. Right. Oh yeah.
So.
Not the same being out there on the grass and kicking it. And,
it is not.
Especially on them cold days. Oh, man.
I'm hoping we're away from those, but who knows? So.
That's true.
It's Alabama.
Yeah, exactly. Wake up tomorrow and it'll be 32 and icy, just like we have baseball and softball coaches on all the time, and we talk about how early their season starts and how they wish it would be pushed back. I'm sure soccer coaches probably feel the same a little bit.
Well, and they continue to move it closer and closer to for me, because we're a smaller school, so we have a lot of overlap for players. Like, for instance, Jaden, who she's our goalie. We had to play games without her because, I mean, I'm proud of them because they made it all the way that far, but it pushed our...
Didn't do you any favors, though.
No, it didn't. Technically, our first game could have been February the 4th.
Wow. Well, it was warm in some days in February.
Some days it was.
But that's not that's just not soccer season. Weather, whatever.
And as far as soccer goes, when we can officially start using the ball 2 weeks before our first game.
Just 2 weeks.
Yeah. That is nuts.
Now we can start conditioning and stuff like that.
Yeah, but
2 weeks. Yes.
That's crazy.
So as an organized team, though, right? Yeah. I mean, the kids can kick a ball at their house.
Kick a ball, and I encourage it as much as I can.
Something like, do you get out there without a ball and then just kind of run through your offense a little bit, or your plays, I guess, rather per se, or I mean, how do you do that until you can interact a ball?
Well, soccer is such a physical and long game that conditioning is more than half the battle.
I was going to say,
it's more than half the battle. And then at the moment, my girls are in such good shape that, I mean, it's won us some games. It really has. It's gotten to the point where we're outrunning them and outplaying them, and just because we're
that's awesome to say. I bet it's a coach, man.
Yeah, and it feels
just sit
good.
back. Give me this last 15 minutes.
and I've got a good bench of girls that are. I mean, they're all young, they're all learning, but they're solid players. They're really learning from the older kids, or I say older kids, but more experienced players.
Yeah.
Are you playing a lot of girls and boys? I mean, are you deep enough to do that and stay?
I've got 16 on the girls team and 17 on the boys team.
Wow. Nice.
That's pretty deep.
Nice.
It's not that bad. And most of my bench are young players, and it's good to get them in the game when I can. Area games is a lot tougher because there's a lot on the line.
Yeah.
And
soccer's one of those games where like you don't get a 20-point lead like you do in basketball or a 3-touchdown lead, and you can just put a kid in with 3 minutes left and know that the other team can't come back because most of y'all's games are so tight.
Yeah.
You can't really afford to just say, all right, girls, this, or guys, let's, and just smash substitute because it's either 1-0 or 2-1 or whatever,
Yeah. Like the game.
It's intense.
Yeah, and the game last night
like
against
my last
Tanner,
camping trip.
Yeah.
Intense. I'm sorry. I went to the ditch. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Coach.
But like the game last night against Tanner, it was a close game, and it was only 3-1 by the end of it, and so it's really tough to make those decisions and say, okay, here we go, and give that girl a chance. But
you don't want to lose a game because of it.
Well, and luckily enough, I've got girls that if they go in, I can trust them. So
absolutely. Well, Coach, thank you so much for coming in, joining us, man. Well, don't be a stranger.
Don't be a stranger.
Good luck. Best of luck.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate it.
Let Tim know when the championship game will be, so he can spread it out through social media.
All right, I will.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to take a quick break. We've been we've been talking to Jonathan Hicks, Clements girls and boys soccer coach, and it's been a good interview. It's time to take a break. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on WKAC, the Big 1080.
If you have a question, comment, or idea for Tailgate Talk, you can email it to tailgatetalk@hotmail.com. We'll be right back with more of Applebee's Tailgate Talk on 1080 WKAC. Real estate, real easy. That's the motto at Innovative Realty Solutions, and providing the highest quality real estate services is their mission. With sound real estate advice, the latest information, and a skilled analysis of the real estate market, Innovative Realty Solutions offers a better home buying and selling experience with a fair, ethical, and, yes, innovative process. Innovative Realty Solutions. Visit them on Facebook, online at innovativerealtysolutions.com, at 100 North Clinton Street in Athens, or call 230-5950. Innovative Realty Solutions. Real estate, real easy.
This is First National Bank Student Advisory Board member Mason Butler from Clements High School, and I love First National Bank. They make it easy for me to balance school, work, and my social life. With convenient services like online banking, bill pay, and the mobile app, I can take care of my finances without having to worry. I can check my balance, transfer funds, and I was even able to apply for my checking account online. First National Bank, making communities great.
Located at 1880 Highway 72 East and 321 South Jefferson Street in Athens. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. Daly & Son Car Care is Ardmore's only one-stop auto repair and tire shop. Whether it's major mechanic or brake work or routine maintenance like an oil change or lube job, Daly & Son Car Care has been satisfying customers all over with their fast and friendly service. They're also your headquarters for quality Cooper tires. Stop by and see Wayne, Nikki, or Dale at 25600 Main Street in Ardmore, Tennessee, or call them at 931-427-4651. They're on Facebook too. Daly & Son Car Care, open Monday through Friday 7:30 till 5 and Saturday 7:30 till noon. Addiction can have a crippling effect on everyone involved, leading to health problems and behavioral disorders. SOAR Addiction Recovery can help with their comprehensive and confidential treatment. SOAR understands the heartache and pain of addiction and can empower you to re-engage in a meaningful life. If you or someone you know needs help, don't wait. Call SOAR Addiction Recovery. That's SOAR at 374-3858. Located at 30521 Ardmore Avenue in Ardmore. It's time for you you to soar. Call now, 374-3858. SOAR Addiction Recovery. Keep up with local school, travel, youth, and amateur sports throughout the week with the Play Action Sports Update. Listen weekday mornings at 7:30 and weekday afternoons at 1:30 and 3:30 as we bring you the latest scores, news, and announcements from Limestone County and surrounding communities. That's the Play Action Sports Update 3 times a day, Monday through Friday on 1080 WKAC.
Hey, this is Charles Morrison, varsity baseball coach with Lindsay Lane Christian Academy, and you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
And welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk, ladies and gentlemen. Tom McClung here, old Tom Cat, alongside Tojo J. Vassar, Todd the Bod Tomlin, producer extraordinaire Tim Lambert, and on our First National Bank hotline. I don't know. I don't think this is going to be a special guest segment right here, sponsored by Yellow Hammer Roofing.
Go ahead with it.
Absolutely. Keith Dunnavant better be a special guest for us. Keith, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, good to be with you guys.
So, Willie's Gift, the 1975 Athens football state championship team. It's a tribute video movie that you have produced. Tell us about it, and tell us who Willie is and what his gift was, all of that stuff that we don't know.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to leave a little bit of that for y'all to come figure out.
Okay, if you have to.
But put it this way. It is all about the 1975 state championship team in Athens, which, of course, I turned 11 years old that year, so I'm really old, and I remember that very, very well. And it was a special team. It was one of the greatest teams in Alabama high school history. And, of course, won 12 games that year, tied Decatur, and had a 1-point loss to Grissom. But you really just destroyed a lot of teams. It was just a great football team on both sides of the ball. And, of course, the star player on that team was Freddie Smith. And Freddie is a big part of our story. And Freddie, certainly one of the greatest high school players in North Alabama history. But Willie's Gift is a story about that team, but it's also about the culture of high school football during that time, the connective tissue between that program and the Athens community. And so we're using that team to tell a deeper story about the power of a great coach, the power of a loving parent, and the values that came out of high school football at that time. So it's we're really excited about the story and about the people in North Alabama getting a chance to see it on April 20th. Now you can get your tickets at a couple of different locations around Athens, and you can also get it on Eventbrite. If you'll look up Willie's Gift on Eventbrite, and you can also, if you're a straggler, you can get it at the door that night. It's April 20th at Athens High School.
Perfect. And we've been told the auditorium holds about 600 to 800. Is that what you said, Jay?
I think
something like
right?
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. And I hope that place is full to come see this. Everything that you do is just gold. It really is. And I can remember that team. And when I don't even remember how old I was. I was about 4th grade, so it was about close to that year. And I went to Athens City Schools, but then I had to go to East Limestone. The city limit sign was right by our house. I always went to the city school, but we were like right outside the city limits, and the city was like, nope, you got to go to East.
You got caught.
I got caught. We got busted. But I would listen to those games every Friday night, Keith, and we've talked about this on air before. And to me, man, they were so good. It was like listening to a college team. I mean, the talent was just, and I just remember looking up to those guys and thinking, wow, you'd see them in town or something and like, man, they're a star,
Well, look at all the D1 prospects that came off that team. Brady Smith went to Auburn. John Marshall went to Auburn. Adolph Cosby, who was a sophomore on that team, went to Auburn. Mm-hmm. Jeff Haynes, who was a sophomore on that team, went to Alabama. Steve Parker, one of the fastest men alive at that point, went to Alabama before going to Abilene. Bill Ming went to Middle Tennessee. Ollie McGee went to UNA. Who am I leaving out? Just a bunch of D1, and then of course Tom Woodruff went to Woodruff went to Vanderbilt.
Yep,
so
right.
Thomas Woodruff. So many great football players on that team. It just, the talent was just incredible. But of course, Coach Larry McCoy, that was his last year at Athens, and you go back and look at the schedule. They didn't get tested much after that Decatur game. Colbert County gave them a game, but they just crushed a lot of people.
Yeah, they did.
I was there at the state championship game at the new stadium before they had visitors bleachers on the other side. Everybody's sitting on the same side.
That's right. I forgot.
Yeah, they didn't have those until '77. That's right.
Yeah. Wow. And I remember Andalusia. They didn't bring their band. They just brought their drum section, and they sit right behind me. And I had a headache for 2 days after. All they done was played cadences the whole game.
Oh, man. But that team was just, and like, you know what? Now that you mentioned all these great players that went on to D1, and some of them went to lower level schools, but could very well possibly be the best high school team that this state maybe have ever seen.
It's certainly in the running. I did in 1985 when I was working, a young guy at Alabama doing working for the Birmingham Post-Herald. We did a survey, a sports writers survey of the all-time top 10 greatest teams of the modern era in Alabama, and the Athens 75 team came in at number 3.
Really?
Wow.
And that's against all those Sidney Lanier teams and Banks and all that. And Athens was one of only a couple of 3A teams on that list.
Which team was it? The Colbert County that had Phil Gargis, Ozzie Newsome, all of those guys on the same team?
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. That was a 73 team, I believe.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I knew it had to be a little bit earlier. I couldn't remember how far. Yeah. Well, what else you got going on? Have you got anything in the works right now?
Well, we have a number of things that are outside the sports realm, but we have. I'm doing some stuff with ESPN that I'm not at liberty to talk about, but it'll be good stuff that you want to see down the line, and also working on a Vietnam War book that I can't say too much about. So I'm still have my one foot in sports and the other in general history.
Hey Keith, I tell you what, man, I really enjoyed the Southern Hoops documentary. I could have watched 100 episodes of that.
I've got them all recorded and watched them twice already.
That was so awesome, and
thank you.
And
yes,
just. I hate what happened last night with Alabama, but this team here compared to that team with Leon then it's pretty close.
Yeah, you're right. And, of course, I remember distinctly the night that Alabama had Indiana on the ropes, undefeated Indiana in 76, about this time in 1976. And I was in the 5th grade at that point. And, boy, I believe they had them, 68. I believe they had them 69 to 68. And a couple of things with it about a minute or two to left, and they lost to them 74-69, and that was as close as anybody got to Indiana that year. So that was one whale of a team.
Now, did you have just the interview part with you, but did you have your hand in this documentary as well?
No, well, I was just a historian on that one. So,
okay.
But my buddy Fritz Mitchell produced that one, and Fritz is one of the best. One of the best.
Well, you obviously had a lot of input in it. Man, it was great, man. Yeah.
Just bring back.
We appreciate that.
Just watching those highlights from the SEC tournament in Birmingham just brought chills back to me.
Yep.
Me being a little kid watching that, it's brought back great memories.
Well, it's I am so fortunate to get to do stuff like that, and stuff that a lot of it from the cool thing is I get to do stuff, some of it that I remember and some that I don't. So it's fun to kind of have a good mix of stuff like that.
Yeah. I was at that for the whole entire week. Me and Jimmy Drake, Coach Drake at East Limestone, and a bunch of us went to the ACC tournament with that first year that Arkansas had come into the league.
Right.
And we're staying there at the Sheridan, man, and all those Arkansas fans and the Kentucky fans and all the red and blue and,
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen anything like it. And, I mean, and they were hooping and hollering at each other. And, of course, as a Tide fan, I'm trying to get in the mix too, man. We're all trying to, support our team. But
can't take you anywhere.
But you can't take me anywhere. But
those Kentucky fans didn't know what to do with the Suey.
They
Suey
did
Hicks
not,
the night,
man.
did they?
Oh, my goodness, they did not.
Well, you mentioned Coach Drake, and I just thought the world of Coach Drake. When I was a young guy coming up as a sports writer in Athens and Decatur, I covered his teams at East Limestone. And, boy, you talking about one of the great high school coaches in North Alabama history. Boy, those battles between East Limestone and then Henry White's Tanner teams.
Yep.
Coach Garland's Clements. See,
Coach
us
Garland's
Clements.
Absolutely. Bo Bird at Clements.
Bo was at Tanner.
Bo was at Tanner.
Excuse me, not Bo Bird. Buck Williams at Clements. That's right. Excuse me.
If they had 3-pointers back then between Bo Bird and Buck Williams, there's no telling how many records those guys would have broke.
Oh, man.
Right. Yeah, that was some good high school basketball back in those days.
It sure was. But and what I love about you too is you do those things outside of sports. I can't wait to see this Vietnam thing that you're working on.
Yeah.
I mean, you're such a great historian and smart at what you do and the way you present it and preserve it for I mean, a lot of people can learn from not just the sports stuff you do, but the historian stuff that you do. And so it's an honor to talk to you. It really is, because you're just absolutely one of the best, man.
Well, you're too kind. I'll tell you one other thing that we're developing. I can't tell you too much about it, but we've got this. The thing about it is, we have several things that were delayed by COVID, so we're just I'm juggling a bunch of stuff right now, but catching up. But we're doing a documentary on the SR-71 Blackbird spy plane. And this was, you've got one right there at the Space Center in Huntsville.
Yes.
If you head into Huntsville on I-565, it's to your right.
Yep.
And it's still it premiered first flight in 1964, and it is still the fastest plane ever built.
That's amazing. 1964.
1964.
Wow.
I remember them. I've read places where, under 30,000, under 50,000 feet or something, it leaks and everything. There we go. The Blackbird just flew over there. Yeah, it would leak. It wouldn't run good, but then you get it up about Mach 2 and up in the stratosphere, it would just.
Can you imagine?
Everything, the seals would just seal up, and she'd just get smooth.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you what, one of the stars of our film is a guy named Ed Yielding. Ed was grew up in Florence, went to Coffee High School, went off to Auburn and did his engineering degree, and if you go to the Smithsonian in D.C., the SR-71 at the Smithsonian was flown to the Smithsonian by Ed Yielding of Florence, Alabama.
Oh, that is awesome.
That's great.
Wow.
Well, now, as far as Willie's gift, okay, it's going to be shown April 20th?
April 20th at Athens High School, 6:30. We've got a little reception where you can come and mingle and, walk the red carpet, as we say.
Nice.
Mingle with it's a world premiere of this film. And listen, I'm excited because, we're doing some other films like this, but this is my hometown.
Yes.
And, I've got a lot of friends there, and I love Athens, and I was part of that program from the time I could walk. And Coach McCoy was like a member of our family, and of course my dad was the radio man before my brother was, and so I'm very steeped in that tradition. So this is personal to me.
Yeah.
And our whole thing is that this is a film that is about that team and also about the culture of high school football in that community, and we just want this to be a night of celebration for the community of Athens.
Well, now you've put so much work into this. Where does it go after that? I mean, is it going to be shown somewhere else? Or
it will go online eventually, but we'll have details on that here a little bit here in a few weeks.
Oh, okay. How long did it take you to put it together, Keith?
Well, I'm going to tell you what. We've been working on this actually since 19 because of, again, it was one of those things that was delayed by the pandemic.
Yeah. Wow.
A lot put into it, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
And when it's personal like that, like you said,
yeah,
it's just going to be so good.
Yep.
But, Freddie Smith is in this, Steve Parker, Thomas Woodruff, Bill Ming, Larry McCoy, so it's a lot of good people who have never been on camera talking about this team.
That's great. Well, Keith, thank you so much for joining us, man. You finished out the show right there at the top. Just as we say, you end on a high note. So.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Hope everybody will think of, make plans to come join us on April 20th.
Absolutely. I'm going to do my best to be there.
We appreciate
Thanks, buddy.
you.
Appreciate it.
All right, man. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
You
Take
too.
care.
Ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of another. Let's wrap this thing up, tie a bow around it. On behalf of Tojo J. Vassar, Todd the Bod Tomlin, producer extraordinaire Tim Lambert, my name's Tom McClung. We ain't got to go home. We got to get ourselves up out of here. We'll talk to you next week.
Enjoy all the smiles and none of the slowdowns with a gig from Ardmore Telephone Company. Get 1 gig now for only $89.90 a month when you sign up or upgrade today. Work from home, learn online, game and stream with no buffering. You'll be grinning from ear to ear with a gig. Call 800-830-9946 now to get your gig life started. That's 800-830-9946.
When things go wrong, State Farm is here to help life go right. And Agent Michael Howell is the one who can help get things back on track. See Michael for your auto, home, life, health, property, and business insurance, and be ready for those unexpected twists that life throws at you. Ask about banking and annuities, too. Call State Farm Agent Michael Howell at 232-5400. Visit him online at michaelhowell.net or go see him at 903 South Clinton Street in Athens. State Farm Agent Michael Howell. There when things go wrong, here to help life go right. While others have come and gone, the Lions Den Gym has been roaring as a workout and exercise fixture in Athens, growing from its humble basement beginnings in 1981 to their current 10,000 square foot location at 212 Commercial Drive in Athens. The Lions Den offers 24/7 access to their ever-expanding equipment collection that includes treadmills and climbers, elliptical trainers, stationary bikes, loose weights and dumbbells, and over 45 different weight machines. Contact the Lions Den Gym about a membership today at 256-652-2627. Visit them online at lionsdengym.com or on Facebook. The Lions Den Gym, 256-652-2627. Keep up with Athens and Limestone County sports with a Play Action Sports Report. Look for it every Wednesday on your favorite podcast platform. The Play Action Sports Report. Scores, interviews, highlights, and more from school, youth, and amateur sports in Athens and Limestone County. The Play Action Sports Report every Wednesday on your favorite podcast platform or online at pasnetwork.net. You've been listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk, live from Applebee's Neighborhood Grill on Highway 72 East in Athens, just off I-65. You can hear the archive of this and other shows online at tailgatetalk.net. Applebee's Tailgate Talk is a production of Play Action Sports on 1080 WKAC.